Most of my members quit. I guess I'm not that legit. But shout out to the shows. You are the shit. You are the shit. Shout out to my man Kev Gray and to Papa Brad. Shout out to Raya and to Die For. They both know the score. The rest are out the door. Most of my members quit. I guess I'm not that legit. But shout out to the shows. You are the shit. Shout out to Ichabod Crane and Brother Bill, both still down with the crew called Shill. Old man Kaju, Stepski, our boys and Tony C are still shills in the place to be. Most of my members quit. I guess I'm not that legit. But shout out to the shills. You are the shit. Omega Fourth and Mike Halkert's been shills for a while. When I see that, it makes me smile. Goofy Footman, he's always been down there in 50, most likely drinking around. And last but not least, we got Mitchell be supporting this show for 10 months, you see. That's the end of the list, cause everyone else they quit. When I look at the stats, I scream, what's up with this shit? What's up with this shit? Most of my members quit. I guess I'm not that legit. But shout out to the shills. You are the shit. Most of my members quit. I guess I'm not that legit. But shout out to the shills. You are the shit.
Here with me,
we are
man.
Here. There's
you can't quit on me.
Yeah, I don't have a choice right now.
Yeah, no choice. You're stuck with me.
What's going on?
At least one more day.
What
is up? Whoever's here hanging out with us, Brooklyn Menace and Kev Gret. You know him, you love him from the Rexer Show. But he also does his own shit. I mean, I tell people all the time.
We don't get it, man.
You know?
They just think I'm the Ed McMahon to Rexer.
Evil minion.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you're my evil minion.
Woo, I'm the Ed McMahon for the Brooklyn show tonight.
Well, we just wrapped up day 2 of Too Many Games. And man, what do you think, Kev?
I'm tired.
You are?
I'm exhausted.
I'm ready to keep going.
Such a great time. We can probably go to 3 a.m. if you want, but
it's never enough for me, apparently.
I know. Yeah, right.
You know?
More of the same on day 2 and some cool other things that we didn't get to do on day 1. But doors open at 11 today. And they closed at 9, so it was a long day. And we were there for pretty much all of it.
There was a lot of people today.
I've never been around so many people since pre-COVID.
What's nuts is the size of the place. I mean, this is not a small venue.
Yeah.
And like everywhere you went, except if you kind of went all the way towards the back to the right, which I told you like before, if you wanted to like sit down and do something at a table, it would be quiet over there. But other than that,
like if you picture like 4 football fields, each football field was a different section of the convention in a way. And every section was just getting flooded with people because each section had different things. The first section was like the vendors, and like section 3 was for people that like board games. So there were people just sitting all day playing board games in the back.
Yeah. Everybody's there for something else.
Something else.
I mean,
It's not just one type of gamer there. Gamer spans so many different things, and it was so crazy to see. Like, people came to cosplay, and
Yeah.
that was their thing.
I come to annoy people, you know?
Brooklyn comes to point cameras in people's face and say, "What are you dressed as?
What are you supposed to
What
be?
are you supposed to be?" He says. And then they're like, "What?" And that's his opening line. I think that's how he met his wife. What are you supposed to be? And,
She said, I'm supposed to be your wife. I was like, sounds good. And
Yeah.
Here we are, how
Yeah.
many years later?
And then you have us just walking around, and I was just taking it all in. I mean, at one point, like, I was really shocked on how I couldn't even like shop. It was just wall to wall.
Yeah.
Like, you were like this, and it like started that way. When the gates opened at 11, it was at 10, and then as time went on, around 5 or 6 o'clock, it did dip down, and you could have walked around very leisurely. But when this thing is just getting bigger and bigger through the years, and like Brooklyn said, I don't know if they can max this out anymore, but they might have to consider a different venue, maybe trying to get it in Philly, because if this continues, this is going to just keep getting bigger. I think next year could be even bigger because everybody we talk to is just having such a good time.
Yeah. I honestly would hope it stays where it is because it's
Yeah.
a quiet country area.
Yeah.
You know, you're not in the middle of the city. I know it says Philadelphia, but it's nowhere close to Philadelphia.
No, this isn't Philadelphia
At all.
This is outside of Philly, like
Way outside
about
of
an
Philly.
hour. Like outside meaning an hour.
Yeah.
It's not like 10 minutes outside. So it is kind of kept away, and it's like you're in your own little space here, because within too many games, there's at least 10 to 15 hotel rooms that you can easily get to. In Philly, you'd be stuck downtown, like really downtown in Philly, and you know, this is a better place to be at, you know, in this area. But it's getting too big. I mean, if people have anxiety or like not like big crowds, this was the day to avoid. Tomorrow's probably a better day to come out. But,
Tomorrow might be crazy too, believe it or not.
Yeah, you're probably right. We'll have to
I'll
see.
tell you why. Because I think Sunday is the cheapest single day admission,
Oh.
and people come out to shop.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think tomorrow is like the cheapest to get in.
The
for
problem
for
is
one
if
day.
you so the problem with all these conventions, if you wait till Sunday to come out, the games have been picked over like 20 hours of picking. So if you're coming out to hunt certain titles, certain games, you're not going to get it. But if you're just coming to get T-shirts and different things, they'll have that. But if you're a hunter looking for certain games, yeah, you probably won't get them tomorrow. But yeah, I didn't realize that it was a cheaper ticket tomorrow. I paid the $105 for the 3-day pass, and so they probably baked that in there, because I know it was like $50 or $30 something a day. Like I forget what it was, but it was better to get the 3-day pass. It was like the price of a 2-day or a 1-day.
I could tell you what's nice to see is for the price of the admission, you can definitely see they are putting it back into the production value, especially with how many stages they had set up, the way they
Yeah.
did the lighting. Because even if you go back 2 years ago, really they only had a stage set up in that fashion in that
Yeah.
one main area, kind of like where
Okay.
they're having the concerts tonight. Now they're having them all over the place, like really nice lighting on
Yeah.
everything. They did really great lighting around the arcade. It just adds to the ambiance.
Yeah, and they have multiple, like Brooklyn said, so the multiple stages were for multiple panels going on at the same time, and it's a way to thin the crowd out. So they have like 3 panels always going on at once, so that you're always having a chance to see different things and going and sit down and listen to different themes and topics. So it was, and this is the first year they streamed it. So on top of the lighting, on top of the sound, they got their internet side of it perfectly going. So like if you go to too many games, there's a 10-hour stream sitting there right now that you can watch from
Yeah.
every panel.
I'll definitely check some
Yeah,
of that out.
yeah,
because
I
it's
am.
like you just can't see everything. And I was walking around just, aimlessly streaming. We ran into Herb Wars, which was a surprise because I was telling you, I hope he's coming out.
Yeah.
And yeah, there he was.
Yeah, we turned around and he found us. I'm like, holy crap, Herb.
All 7 foot of him.
Dude, I had to look up for like 5 seconds to see Herb. But
Kev's
yeah.
neck is still hurting.
Yeah, it
from this
hurts.
conversation with you. Herb Wars, are you already back home?
Yeah, it looks like hopefully he's good.
Yeah. Ichabod, he headed out. He went straight home from the event tonight, and we headed back to the room. So he's already home because none of us are terribly far.
Yeah.
You know, I could have literally went home every night.
Yeah. But it was easier to just hang out. You know, you don't rush it.
Yeah.
You know.
Treat it like a little
Yeah,
vacation.
and that's what my wife said. Just go hang out with the boys, you know. No reason to drive home or whatever. Plus, dude, here's the other thing you have to prepare for. You're on your feet pretty much all day, except when you're sitting down for some of the panels, and you're doing so much walking that you don't know you're gonna walk 3 miles probably up and back and around all over this place. So you're gonna get tired if you're not used to doing it.
Now, I missed pretty much all of the panels today because I lost you.
Yeah.
You were talking to Herb Wars.
Yep.
And you know, I was live streaming, so after a while, you know, just keep it on the go, keep it
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
2 people that were watching it.
I'll watch it later.
I don't know how good it is. Well, I just checked the sound, and you can hear everyone in front of me. Great, you
Yeah.
know. What's weird is this microphone. I could actually set it up in different ways where the audio can come. You know, like let's say if you were doing an interview, it'll
Yeah.
come out of the both sides. You know, the left and the right. But I kind of had it like shotgun right in front, and I was behind it. You know, I'm not like one of those YouTubers that turns the mic for my voice. I wanted to get the
Yeah.
reactions and interactions with, you know, whoever I wound up running into.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sitting on a short little cushion.
No,
thing.
he's
I mean,
not.
I'm short, but I'm sitting on a
No,
short.
he's not. He's standing up.
I'm standing up. I'm Gorf. I'm Dort. What is it? Gorf? Remember that? Yeah. So like, there's no second chair in here, so that's why I'm a little leaning down. But this is one of the first times we're able actually sitting, other than like having lunch
Yeah.
today. So that's something you got to be prepared for if you do this stuff. And the truth is, time flies, and you don't really realize you're doing it until later. You're like, my legs hurt. I've been up all day.
There's so much to like find and see. Like some stuff that, you know, interested us was like tucked into a corner, and you just find it by accident. You know, we found like a new VR bowling game that's coming out, but it's not like a standard bowling game.
Yeah.
The bowling alley has traps. It looks like it has
Yeah.
like almost like a Plinko.
It's a cool take on
thing.
bowling.
Yeah. Only downside of that game is no multiplayer. If something like that had multiplayer, I could definitely see our
Yeah.
crew getting together
Yeah.
and all getting on the lane and playing that.
Yeah.
But interesting concept, you know, the way because that's kind of fun for VR. Oh, my batteries aren't. Well, it'd be great if I plugged the computer.
Hold
in.
on.
I'll take care of
Got to
that.
plug in.
I'll take care of it, Kev.
Yeah, and like every time I walked around the convention in the marketplace section, I found something that I was like, how did I miss this booth? I went by twice. And it's because people are shopping and are on your way. You're like, oh, I'll just come back to this later. And then you forget. Then you do another lap and another lap. And you're like, all right, I think I got everything. Then you're like, oh, wait, look at this little booth.
Take the seat.
The Atari people were there, showing off their, you know, new Neo Sprint. There was a lot of little indie developers showing off a couple of games, and there was one that Brooklyn and I played. I forget the name, but it was like they were saying it was Gauntlet inspired, and I'm telling you, it would be perfect for the old iArcade if they were still hanging around. And so I picked that one up on Steam. Then we ran into a bunch of college kids from Villanova, and they created their own game. And it's basically like this version of Portal where you have like, it's like little monster hands, and you go around and you create versions of yourself to solve tasks. And these were college kids and it's on Steam right now, and it's like $7.50. So I supported them and picked it up. It works on the Steam Deck. So it's cool that these guys and the people there, they engage with you. They want to talk to you about their project, and Brooklyn and I were just dialoguing on all these little indie developers that are there. They're just trying to get you made aware of what they're doing. And it's good to see these college kids and the people that were making that VR bowling game. They were basically doing it in their spare time. They have full-time jobs, and they're making this bowling game because they're passionate about, you know, the medium as VR. So we were able to do that today, later in the day. Once the crowd thinned out, I was going up to each booth and talking to them, saying, how's it going, and inquiring about some of the stuff they were working on. So that's another cool aspect of the show, where you can just learn stuff from these people that come and want to share their games that you'll never find on Steam.
Yeah.
You know, they get buried. But like this game that we were playing with Brooklyn today, you were like in a rock band, and you like one person's weapon could be a guitar, the other one could be a drums, and it's like a twin stick shooter. and you're making your way through 30 something levels. And the dude was so happy to talk to us about it because it was like a one man developer almost. In fact, the guy that was there was making the music for the game. So just little stuff like that at the show.
Kev's a lot different than me. I bug people, like the actual attendees of the event.
Yeah.
Kev gets in there with people selling stuff, pushing games, and he's so engaging with people. You know, like you'll literally sit down and talk for like 15, 20 minutes. Pick up their stuff.
Yeah.
Support them.
Yeah.
And try to say, hey, see what we can do about. Letting more ears hear about this game.
Yeah. I'll do more when I do a wrap up video. I'll talk about it. But yeah, like I'll go in and I don't film any of this stuff. Maybe I should, but I just like to hear the story behind these passion projects because there's so many games out there that you're never gonna like. These guys need all the exposure they can get. And so I literally on my phone, like, so they'll give you a QR code. And so I just scanned it and bought it. So I bought a couple things. There's like $10 and $7 for these developers. So yeah. Meanwhile, Brooklyn's like, "What are you supposed to be?" He's like, "I'm a developer." So yeah, I'll change the chair in my fan.
Nah,
he's too
good.
tall. He's too
good.
tall.
He's good.
The short guy should be down. And then of course we hung out with Glenn again. Glenn lost his voice from talking so much. He was getting so many people coming up to his booth because he's got the best the best place for it. And yeah, Papa, if I had my eye on something, I was gonna consider going back tomorrow and trying to haggle. But unless you really want a high value item, like I saw a couple Virtual Boys there, a couple boxed Ataris. But if I'm not into the pricing side, Brad, you would be. But I'm telling you, just Brooklyn and I looking at these prices. They were pricing Ataris at what, $70 loose that looked like he kicked it from his home all the way to the convention. It didn't look like these things were getting value at these conventions.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Spooky Tuesday, what's up? I ran into Dustin from M&E at the event, so chatted with him for a bit, some Juggalo shit, and I had Kev snap a few pictures.
Yeah.
Real nice dude, I told him, just don't hit me in the face and take my phone. So obviously I knew who he was.
Brooklyn's got people everywhere. Everywhere he goes, people go. So he had his other world collided today with video games. So he had some cool people. I did take some pictures of him and a big crazy dude. So you never know when you're at Brooklyn who's gonna come up and say hi. And I'm glad I was there to get some photos of you guys. Yeah, and we got some more photos with Glenn, some really cool photos. And like I said, he lost his voice from talking to so many people today about his Build-A-Cade and his Akari Warrior Stick and the Sendin gun. So good for Glenn. Looks like he got a lot of reach out there talking about his products. A lot of people who didn't know it. So good to see him again. We chatted for a little bit here and there, but we kind of left Glenn alone today. We did our own thing. Because every time we tried to talk, people would come up and they wanted to. So we're like, "Do your thing, Glenn. We're not going to bother you today."
I mean, a lot of times you were like, you might as well have been working the booth.
I jumped in. So whenever I seen people come up and Glenn's voice was hoarse, I jumped in and I was trying to sell and I let him know I don't work for Glenn. I'm a shill. But that's because his products are legit. So I was in there trying to explain what it is, how to get it, and all that stuff. So because when the products are genuine and the man is genuine, it just comes through. So yeah, I was naturally just selling the products for Glenn. I think he wants me to go on the road with him to his next 3 conventions.
Spooky, I got a bunch of pictures with Dustin. I'll show him on our next Big Tuesday show. That's another community.
Yeah,
and I do a show on.
And of course, Brooklyn's rocking his new crazy loud shirt today. Look at that thing, dude. Whenever I couldn't find Brooklyn, I would just stand on a chair and look up at the crowd, and there he goes. And I found him in like 3 minutes.
Come on, man! It's freaking Godzilla and Mechagodzilla merged together.
Now, one of the coolest things, like we said, you come up here to do crazy things. One of the funniest things that all weekend I did, they do this every year. They have what's called cosplay wrestling. So they have a wrestling ring built. And then they bring an independent wrestling group out and they dress like Donkey Kong and Mario and they come out and the crowd loves it. So I sat for 2 hours and watched this. It was the great. I had a smile on my face because they had CJ from Grand Theft Auto. They had Wario come out. They had this lady dressed in a Wii Fit outfit yelling at the crowd that they stink. It was hilarious. So you never know what you're going to find here when you come up to walk around. So that was the greatest thing that I did today. I watched 2 hours of cosplay wrestling.
Yeah, I could
Dude.
not believe I lost you.
Yeah,
So
we.
I was
yeah.
looking for you. By the time I was like, all right, he must have went by the wrestling because I knew you
Yeah,
wanted to see
we-
that.
yeah,
I wanted
we-
to see it.
yeah.
I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
It was freaking packed, dude.
I was not dressed like a banana as wearing this. But yeah, so I went over to the wrestling section about a half an hour before because Brooklyn said it gets packed, and I'm like, oh, I better get over there. Dude, I couldn't get in. I had to like work my way through, and I was standing room only for 2 hours because it was so packed. Like people really come and want to watch this event. So it's crazy. Like to me, that was a highlight. I was laughing because they were playing to the crowd. They had real bananas. Diddy Kong came out and ate some bananas and smushed it in people's faces. So it was
Spooky,
crazy.
in this event, they don't let you get in the ring, not like our other stuff where I did actually get in the ring and wrestled another YouTuber. I don't think they let that happen here. It's not as crazy.
Yeah, they had. So there is a kind of a famous YouTuber in the amateur wrestling space. Grimm's Toy Show came out dressed like Wario, and he fought the Wii Fit girl. And they had a bag, and they would pull stuff out of the bag, and it would be like Wii stuff, like a Wii steering wheel, and then he would hit it on the Wii Fit girl, and then she brought out a golf club and hit Wario in his nuts. It was hilarious. So Grimm's Toy Show is actually a really big YouTuber, and he actually is a wrestler, an independent wrestler. So he came out, and he was really good. He got the crowd going, dressed as Wario. So, yeah, Herb, you would have liked it if you had time to. I don't know if you had time or what.
Herb is easily big enough to be a
Dude, he
wrestler.
could have easily got in there and no one would have said anything about it. He could have jumped in there. No one would say he's not a wrestler. He would have been all over it. But they had, who else did they have? They had Spider-Man come out and fight Parappa the Rapper. That was hilarious. They had all the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas people came out. Wario, Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Mario. Oh, then they had Resident Evil and Ashley from Resident Evil. It was really cool. So that was for me the highlight of the day, on top of just hanging out again and shopping and doing stuff. But yeah, and it goes on again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and they're doing wrestling again tomorrow. They, at the end of this particular wrestling show, they set up tomorrow's matches. So they're calling it Chaos at the Convention. No holds barred. Anything goes. Which,
I'll try to get in there early because I want to get.
yeah,
some
I don't know
good
if I'm going to
clips.
watch it, but they didn't stream that, I don't believe, because of probably the violence aspect or whatever. But I wish they would. You streamed it last time, you know.
Well, this time I'm gonna film it in 4K. Get a
Oh,
lot of-
nice.
get some
Yeah,
good shots
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, I think I posted a couple community posts of like pictures of them getting on the ring, you know. But yeah, so that's something. I don't know how long I'm going to stay tomorrow. Brooklyn kicked me out. You see that, guys? He was like, tap the chair, like,
This
get out.
this is actual size.
This is my
difference.
chair. Yeah, this is fun size, actual size. Oh my god. Yeah, Mike, it's fun. Again, this is something I haven't done. Like, I don't go to conventions.
If Herb was
you know.
here, he'd have to sit on the floor.
Yeah,
just
if
to-
Herb
he'd
was
still be
here,
taller
we'd
than
have to
us.
point the camera up there.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he's huge. But yeah, I honestly, I can't remember the last time me and my wife went to a convention like this together, anywhere, even for the day.
It's good. And like I said to these guys, it's like Ichabod and I started hanging out a lot. You know, we do shows together live, and Kev's close by. You know, it's like, dude, like, what are we doing? Like, we could just be hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, going to arcades on the weekend. We're all close enough where we can just chill out.
Go to a barcade or
have a
something,
night out,
meet- yeah,
and
meet
then
each other.
everybody go home, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Just hang out. So yeah, we're gonna do more of that offline. I think we gotta make it a priority to just do that. You know, because I mean, to be honest, I'd be on the sofa with the wife watching Netflix right now, and she was the one. You know, I was like, man, I don't want to go. It's a lot of work. I'm lazy. My wife's like, yeah, you're lazy. That's the problem. Just go hang out with the boys. They want to hang out.
We're all lazy.
And I was like,
Just do
because
it.
you get locked into a schedule. You know what I mean? Like Saturday night, if I'm not doing a stream at Rexer, or actually we do ours on Sundays mostly. It's like, okay, what are we watching tonight? And then you just basically fall. Everyone has a routine, so this is definitely out of my routine, you know. But I'm glad I did it. A great time, and they have the dates for next year, so we're gonna definitely plan in January when they release the hotel rooms. We're gonna grab hotel rooms right away.
And like, you know, no uncomfortable like meeting each other. It's like meeting each other in 2 seconds. You know,
Yeah.
haven't shut up, you know, since. You know what I mean? No uncomfortable. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah,
already,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and exactly. It's not like we're like, who are you? And what's cool is you're here at the show too, so you're meeting other people together like RGT and the other guys, and those guys are approachable. They're out on the floor buying stuff. So on top of meeting us, we're meeting other people. Yeah, there's no uncomfortability with it at all. And meeting Glenn was like, hey, what's
Yeah.
up? Like we knew Glenn for years.
Yeah.
We're like, what's up? And we met Glenn's son. Like we said, we met Herb, and tomorrow, I think Gregory's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, Gregory's coming tomorrow.
So as this thing keeps going, maybe we'll get more people, you know, coming out and saying hi. But if not, we'll organize some stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's why I didn't come last year, because it's like it's fun and everything, but you know, every time I'm here, I'm just walking around by
Yeah.
myself. I go home, I come back the next day. It's more fun if we
Yeah, totally.
make a little thing out of it.
Yeah, and last year, right now, I was getting on a plane to Nashville last year. We had vacation, and I didn't know about this, so I don't know if you asked me after the fact, because I booked a Nashville trip in like February. You might have said, well, I want to go to too many games. I'm like, oh crap, I booked it, but now I know the weekend. It's already booked.
If you would have said no,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to buy a ticket.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you said, let's do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, let's do it. So yeah, very cool, very cool. And then I'll be able to rest tomorrow because Monday starts my hell week for work, where I have to work like 60 hours in 2 days, 3 days.
I'm
It's crazy.
Next week is going to be nice, man. We got
Yeah.
4th of July coming up.
Yeah.
So
Well, it sucks because work is giving me off like the 4th and the 5th, but they didn't change my deadline. So I'm like, how do you expect me to meet my deadlines?
what did you pick up today? I didn't pick up anything.
Ichabod. I left it in there.
Ichabod went home with a whole bag of stuff. He
Yeah.
was buying coasters. He bought something where you put your dice in the top of like a dragon and it comes out the bottom of its mouth. So
Yeah.
you know, so the dice never like fall off the table.
I can
and
get
it's
it.
always like a legit.
I can get what
I know you.
yeah, I got a
I
couple
know
of
you
things.
picked up Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah, so there was a guy, this was hilarious. So I'm just walking around and there's a guy, a little Asian guy, and he's yelling, I got Mario's Mansion 2, $45. And I'm like, what? Because I know the game just came out.
Yeah, it's
and
like $60.
It's $60 and it's a Switch remake, right? So I stopped in my tracks and everybody stopped in their tracks and they're looking at this guy and we're like, what do we have to do? And so on the table were like 50 copies of Luigi's Mansion 2. And he said, this is what you have to do. And I'm like, oh, here we go. He's like, you got to scan this QR code. Then it's going to download an app. You buy the game on the app. Then the app is going to charge you shipping $3. But I'm going to refund you the shipping $3. And once you buy the game, show me the order and I'll give you the game. And I'm like, why are you doing this? He's like, I'm trying to get exposure for my app. It's just a marketing expense. I'm like, and then while I'm talking, other people are doing it, and he's handing them the game for $45 and $3 shipping. And so I was like, oh, so I got FOMO'd, and I'm like, dude, I've never played Luigi's Mansion 2. It just came out. Even if I don't get my shipping refunded, it's $48, so it's still better than the $60 that Nintendo's trying to get us for, right? So I did it, yeah, and I got it. And so I paid via credit card through the app. So that was one of the things I got. And then I bought a T-shirt, which I left it in the car. Double Dragon
shirt.
T-shirt. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's like the original box. It's like the
NES box.
Yeah, it's like the NES.
Yeah, when they're on
box
the
like a-
sides where they're
on like a red shirt.
Yeah. So and then I bought the Glenn's Build-A-Cade at 50% off. So $50 for that. 45, 48 for Luigi, and then 24 for the shirt. Not much, but here's the thing: if you come up here with a bankroll, you can spend it. You're gonna. There's so many things that I didn't get that I was like, do I need that? I want it, but do I need it? So it's here, you know.
We didn't see any Evercade stuff.
No
anywhere.
Evercade.
So we did look around.
Yeah.
Ton of great retro stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
And we also found obviously the special editions of Cathedral, which I
Yeah.
love that game. I have it on the Evercade. We found that the Switch version.
Yeah.
And Kev showed it to me at one table. I said, that's too high. That's like a $60-something
Yeah,
brand new. And he's
yeah.
like, you know what? You're right, because I was at the actual booth of the people that make the disc, and that's what they're selling
Yeah.
it for. So I was like,
Yeah, so you got to be on your toes with some of this stuff. Hey, Brad, you'll like this. When you go to these tables, each table, they just put the games on top, right? And what I'm noticing, and I don't go to a lot of conventions, so I don't know if this is normal, Brad. Maybe you can tell me. All of like the Sega Genesis and the Nintendo, they're up out in front. The Atari is now underneath in boxes. Every booth that I went to barely had any Atari on the table. Everything was under the table for some reason. And I guess Atari is like low man on totem pole, Brad, right now for collectability, because they were just all thrown in boxes on all these tables. And a lot of the other tables had like NES in clear cases. It's like, Paul, so no gambling this
No
weekend.
gambling.
But the compromise was
there was a hotel, and I was like, he can't book that hotel because it was like a hotel casino.
Paul,
Because we would have never gotten him out of the freaking room.
Paul, like
the hotel, he would have
10 minutes away, the Valley Forge Casino, and I'm like, they were gonna give me a free room, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't bring Brooklyn to a casino. But here's the compromise: next week's the long weekend, and we might have a free room, be headed out to the Hard Rock for a night. So
I don't even know how to gamble. So.
well, so everyone in the chat, always, here's how you gamble if you play slots. You take your money out, you put it in the machine, you say a prayer to John D like we did on the stream, and then you hit the button. That's it. That's how you gamble if you're playing slots. There's no strategy. You will lose your money 99.9% of the time. Don't go to the casino trying to make your mortgage. Go to have some fun, and go with what you can afford to lose. Always, 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 always. We lose more than we win. But my wife, that's her version of me playing Golden Tee with Rexer.
I think Kev set that up intentionally. It only has one bed.
No, it has a pull-out bed, my fam.
I refuse to pull the bed out. I'm like, I'm good. I'll just sleep on the couch. I just left it as a couch last night.
It does have a pull-out bed, and I made sure, my fam, that it had. I wasn't just gonna book a room like Steve Martin and John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You remember that? They only had one bed, and then so they're in bed, and he's like, "Your pillow's in the way." He goes, "That's not my pillow." He goes, "That's not my hand." Remember that? They're like, "Oh."
How creepy would it be if like tonight you wake up?
Yeah, and like,
I'm
I
like-
lean
and I'm
over,
like
you're,
just like
you're-
right next
you're
to
cuddled
you,
up
and
next
I'm
to
just
me.
looking
You're-
right at
you're,
you.
You're like this, looking at me like
Yeah.
Steve Martin did. I think I'm going to sleep standing up in the closet tonight.
It is a heart-shaped bed.
Yeah, remember those? I don't know if you guys had those. We had these hotels called Inn of the Dove.
Oh yeah.
And that was like this place where you just
remember
went to
those.
have special time and the heart-shaped beds and themed rooms. So,
Yeah, we didn't get a room like that.
Paul, you can come dressed like Bayonetta if you want. If that's what you can do, whatever you, dude. That's the thing, right? At the end of the day, no matter how old or how young, what you look like, your skin, your nationality, your gender, it doesn't matter, because everyone is here for the love of the convention and of the culture. And for this one moment in time, we're all different, but for this 8 hours, we're just walking around having a good time together. And it's people that I never would be able to interact with otherwise, because we all have our bubbles. We all stay in our lane. So we're making small talk with people, and we're all accepted today. Tomorrow if I see them in Starbucks, they might not give me the time of day, but today we're all gamers. We're all at the convention, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, tell him, Kev.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Hey, that girl from Juliet was amazing. Lollipop Chainsaw, amazing. Yeah, Paul, the Midwest is probably double the size of this, right? Like those.
I have never been to that.
The Midwest and Southern Fried Gaming, they like dwarf this. We're just getting to a level where where this thing's getting known.
Southern Fried Gaming, I know Brad goes to that.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not driving all the way to Atlanta or flying Midwest.
Yeah.
It's actually doable. It's like a day drive
Yeah.
all the way out there. It would be
Yeah,
a really
yeah.
long drive, but
Yeah.
it's definitely
Well,
could happen.
Also, some of the times at these conventions, I can't take any work time off the first 2 weeks of the month just because I'm an accountant and that's just the way it is. So this was perfect. This fell literally at the end of the month, and there's nothing that prevented me from getting out here. But if it was the 6th or the 7th, I can't do it unless it's the weekend. I would only be able to come on Saturday. And
What's
Sunday.
up, Roxy? Roxy, I ran into Dustin from M&E at this event that we've been out for the past couple of days.
I wanted to show here's a picture of Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong at the convention playing wrestling. Look at that. Just stuff like that. And then this was really cool. Look at that. This person went all out on their costume. That's insane. That's
Oh yeah, Dustin's big. Big seat, Kev.
Look, guys, he's letting me sit in the big boy seat.
Take over, dude.
All right, now that Brooklyn's gone, dude, help. He won't let me leave. He's telling me I have to stream till 4 a.m. Help. I am at the courtyard. Please help me. Text me, and I'll text you my Uber. You can come get me. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Show the pictures with us with Glenn.
Oh, yeah, you guys want to see some pictures with Glenn? Let me, So right before we left, we wanted to get more pictures with Glenn just to say goodbye, and,
I didn't know which camera to look at. There was so many people who were taking photos.
So that's Glenn, me, and in the back, if you can make it out, it was Alex. And then
It's AKA Ichabod.
Ichabod.
Elio,
I'm sorry,
what's going on?
Ichabod. So there's and then Brooklyn got a bunch of pictures, and then I posted one. And I think you have. Brooklyn's gonna do a crazy video of his experiences. I might just do something little. Yeah, it's not anything crazy. Brooklyn's gonna go nuts with an awesome wrap up. So it'll dwarf anything I can put together. I might just talk about my experiences for a few minutes and do something, but I was there just chilling, relaxing, just walking around. Yeah, Glenn is nice. He's just so genuine. So it's good to see him, get exposure on his products. He had a lot of fans come up to him and say, I love your products. I'm so happy that I saw we're going to be here, So he came up. And I was like, damn, that's awesome. And Glenn's like, it's always good to meet people that like the products. One guy came up and he's like, I got your Star Wars stick in my arcade. I won't put anything else in there. And it's just so much better than the arcade 1-up version. And, we just laugh when he said that. We're like, that's not a high hurdle to get over. But it's still cool to see. So yeah, Glenn should be here tomorrow, I think, all day, or I don't know what time. I'm definitely not staying till it's open 11 till 5 tomorrow, so it's not a full day. And I'm sure the people that are going to be here are locals, so they're unless people booked into Monday and stay all night or all day. So I'm gonna probably get up, maybe get some coffee, and just get on the road, or because I don't think there's anything else there that I needed to get. We were there Friday and Saturday, so. I would like to stay for the wrestling to see Chaos at the convention, whatever the heck they got. But that's at 12 o'clock, which means I won't get home till 4 o'clock. And I have to start work on Monday at 8, and I go to midnight, 8 a.m. to midnight. So basically all day. So it's the life of an accountant. So I have to go rest up tomorrow. But definitely gonna book this for next year. It'd be crazy. Yeah, that's what I thought, Paul. A lot of these conferences, they don't do all day to 5 o'clock on Sunday. So I think they're banking on locals and people like with the 3-day pass to just stay a little longer. But yeah, normally these things end real early on Sunday. I thought 8 to 1 or 8 to 2, 11 to 5. I think they should open earlier on Sunday and close it earlier so people can travel. Like, I don't know what Southern Fried Gaming does. Do you? Like, on that
Never
last
been
day?
there. Brad's been there. He's
Brad,
always there.
does Southern do an all day Sunday show when they do their stuff? Because
Southern Fried seems to have definitely a bigger selection of like arcade stuff
Yeah.
and pinballs.
yeah,
This just has a wide array of stuff
Of-
for all different.
yeah,
people.
exactly. It hits so many demographics and what gaming is considered. Yeah, like in the back was all the arcades. Then you had the board game section, and all that stuff. 3 on Sunday. Yeah, so 3 o'clock is exactly. That makes sense. So then people can get away and get home. Like Brad, I don't know if you drive there or how you get there, but I don't know how you're gonna work your Sunday travel. But I'll probably get up, check out, get some coffee, 10 or 11, and then get on the road. Brooklyn's definitely going to go back for streaming and stuff, right? So he'll get you covered with that, and then I'll go home and watch Brooklyn stream all day.
I don't know if I'm going
He
to
drives.
stream tomorrow.
Okay. But you're gonna
But
film
I
a lot
am
of this
going to
stuff.
film some more 4K. I want to get some of the wrestling because, like, when I put together a video, it's going to be more just like very quick clips, but very good quality.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to grab. I'm gonna try to grab a lot of girls, like a lot of the cosplayers and
It's
all that kind of stuff.
It's funny too because Friday when we came up here, it was like all guys, very little cosplay. On Saturday, it was much more couples, guys and girls together, and a lot more cosplay. So Saturday seems to be the day where everybody comes, whereas Friday it seemed to be like maybe the diehards, like the crazy VIP mini bosses and stuff. Whereas Saturday was more of a couples, hey, let's go out for a day, maybe do something together. And I don't know if that's how most conventions work, but there were so many more cosplayers today than Friday.
I think tomorrow, usually on Sundays when they do the cosplay contest.
Oh, that's
they'll
right.
Have them all on stage.
Oh, that's right. There's a contest tomorrow with prizes and trophies. That's right. I forgot.
I'll film
if you can.
clips of that.
They might put that online too if Brooklyn doesn't go live and the Too Many Games homepage. Like you'll probably see the Chainsaw Lollipop girl in there, like that we talked about.
Possibly.
Maybe, yeah. So and maybe the Metroid person will be there too. So I don't know what time. I think that's later in the day, like 2 o'clock. So. Yeah, Paul, I thought Fridays were like a preview day, but this thing opened at 2 o'clock on Friday, and there were thousands of people in there. I thought Thursday night used to be a preview day, and then Friday full audience, but they went full audience at 2 o'clock. Like I think VIPs might have got an hour early.
They worked it out way better the way they have like the security that you go through. They have 2 lanes that you go through because the last time I was here, they had one dude going through everyone's bags. Now you didn't even have to. You could just go in with your bag. As long as the thing didn't go off, then you didn't have to go over to the side.
Yeah, so lax.
So they really had it where it kept the lane of people going out, where they're not fighting against the lane of people going in. The way they used to have it, you go around now through a whole blank area, and then you come out into the convention. And Glenn had like prime real estate. As soon as you walked in, he was right there. So it's like. It was also nice to see the different array of people, not only like older retro guys. You saw younger people just impressed with the Star Wars, with the yoke stick. And tonight we saw that young couple, how impressed they were when they played Robotron.
That dude went nuts. So this guy comes up, and Glenn has his Build-A-Cade set to Robotron, and he's got Joe Sabo's Robotron acrylic artwork. And he played it. And he was freaking out on how, because he said he's a Robotron guy. He really loves Robotron. And when he played it, he was like, "Oh my goodness, this is tight. It was really well done." And Glenn said it's because he's using little metal joysticks in there. And I played it. I got the Wave 10 in the middle of a convention playing it on that screen with those sticks. So it was really, really cool to see people get exposed to that.
What really was the one thing, because I already have the Build-A-Cade, I haven't put it together yet.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do the Donkey Kong configuration with mine.
Yeah.
Because I just love the way that looks. But you can get a few of those and do so many different things.
I know.
They look so realistic as tiny arcades, especially when you see them in person, all the different things you can do with them now.
Yeah.
But what I really love about Glenn's stuff that he had there was the Akari Warrior sticks, because to finally be able to play that game properly,
Yeah.
having a joystick that turns, and I like the way the joystick it's not just like a free spinning stick.
Yeah, yeah.
It clicks into the way, you know, that you're firing,
Yeah.
saying like a hexagon pattern. So yeah, it works so well. So I'm sold on that. That is definitely something that I want, because I'd love to play through all three of those.
Oh, yep.
What is the other one? Midnight Resistance or something like
Yeah,
that.
Midnight Resistance. I think Guerrilla War
There's
is
a
one of
few
them.
games like that.
Yeah, there's a few. Time Soldiers.
Because you just can't play. Like, those games are impossible, trying to hold a button to turn left and right, and then you turn too far. Like, with that stick, man, it's the way to play it.
Yeah, so Paul, you're going to the Schaumburg. That's in Illinois, right? Because they were advertising
Yeah, they were
the
advertising.
pinball, a big pinball fest, and I'm like, look at this, Brooklyn, let's go. And then we realized it's in Illinois. So I think that's the one you're going to go to, right? So I'm trying to go to the one in Allentown that TNT Amusements goes to every year, Tataki, but it's always in May, I think, and it's always around my birthday. So my wife and I are always trying to do vacation time around there. But I definitely want to go to the amusement pin fest up in Allentown, or whatever he calls it. But I agree, it would be nice if everyone in the community gets out to some type of local conference or event and experience this stuff for themselves. And yeah, so my fam Joe, like, there's like 6 or 7 versions right now that Joe Sabo makes for the Build-A-Cade. He's got an Arkanoid, Donkey Kong, Ms. Pac-Man, Robotron, and what was the other one? He's got a couple more, but that's it. It's not like you can just pick one of 100, because he makes it fit perfect. Like, go to his website. That Ms. Pac-Man and to see that Donkey Kong in person, it's beautiful. And he's actually, anyone that has a Build-A-Cade, Joe Sabo's running a 20% off sale starting Monday for the holiday. So the kits are like $42. So you get a few bucks off. So I bought the Build-A-Cade today, and I'm trying to decide between Ms. Pac-Man and Robotron as my acrylic.
Thing is, if you do the Robotron,
Yeah.
then you're
I'm
kind of going to
stuck.
be stuck with the twin
I
sticks.
know.
But there's a lot of great twin
I
stick
know.
games.
Yeah, I know.
I would really only use that as just like a little cool looking piece, but
Yeah.
bring it out to a TV and then play it on a bigger
Yeah.
stick, you know?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if I bought that and I did it Robotron and I stuck a pie in there or Glenn's Viper, I wouldn't really. That would just leave it as that. You know what I mean? Like, I would. Like Ms. Pac-Man, yeah, that would only have a button, so then you're stuck with certain games or whatever. But it would be nice, even as a showpiece. I've always said that, like, New Wave Toys should sell their products without the PCB and shave off money and get a whole new market of people that just want to see the side art. And that's what I'm going to get with Glenn for like $100 something dollars. And I'm telling you, Sabo's work is amazing. So I'm thinking of Ms. Pac-Man and Robotron just for that,
They're really nice. I mean, we were looking at these things close up, and it's just really good quality.
Yeah.
You can see that the artwork that you stick on the sides, it's like thick, you know?
Yeah. This is really acrylic. And it pretty much shines, like it glows. So when I saw that in person, the Build-A-Cade with the Donkey Kong, I was like, and I picked it up, and I'm waiting for Joe to put his code out on Monday, July 1st, to get his. Now the only problem with Joe Sabo is you have to wait till probably Christmas of 2025 to get your stuff. Like, Rexer ordered the Donkey Kong acrylic the minute it came out, like months. He still doesn't have it because Joe. I talked to Glenn, and he said that Joe ran into a problem with it, and he had to kind of like fix it. So there was some problem with the glue. So that's apparently fixed, and the shipping should start any minute now. But Joe's always known for his long shipping times. And what's funny is I think he moved, Glenn said, but he was only like 20 minutes away from me, his warehouse, his little shop. I could have drove up there, but he's charging like $20 to ship. I could have been like, Joe, I'll come up, give me Rexer's order, and I'll ship it out myself cheaper. So yeah, Goofy, I'm thinking of a robot. the more that I looked at that Robotron and played it, I was thinking Robotron. You know, I don't know. You were saying Donkey Kong, right?
I just like the look. I always
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
look of that,
I
looking
know.
through the glass, you see the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Sunk back in there. I just like that look. 'Cause like I said, I don't plan on playing the games actually on that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But see, like I don't know if you can play Donkey Kong or not on that little screen, but I know playing Robotron, I could easily be sitting at my desk, grab it, and just get a quick game in, and like feel like it's as good as the. I don't know if you can do that with Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. Oh yeah, he has a Donkey Kong Jr.
I can probably
acrylic too.
play Donkey Kong on a giant screen.
Well, that's the thing. Like I don't have like I'm not Rexer. I'm not a world high score player, and my nostalgia for Donkey Kong is that I suck at it. Like I never could get past like the third or fourth board as a kid, and I never played it enough to learn the patterns and the secrets. It was just one of the first arcades that I played. So it's like my nostalgia. I wouldn't make that as an acrylic. I would go with the Ms. Pac-Man. Dude, even Arkanoid with the little spinner, that looked really cool too. So that's one of the acrylics. So that was cool. Glenn giving us 50% off for the show as a show special. It's a shame we didn't have any here, but you have to pay shipping when you do it. Yeah, Paul, that's really what that's why I don't buy the New Wave toys at like $250.
I think I honestly think he should have brought out a stock of the Build a Kid.
Oh, it would have been gone.
He would have sold them.
Yeah, he would have sold them. See, the problem with not having any stock when you come to a show, they're like, yeah, I'll get to it. Once a customer leaves your presence, it's an uncertain factor. But if you have a physical product and they give you money or credit card and they get it, you're gonna get more sales. But Glenn direct ships, so he would have to have got it to his house and then work and I don't think Glenn knew he was coming till like last minute. I don't think
It was kind of last minute.
Yeah. But Paul, getting back to your point, like spending $250 for a New Wave toy just to put it on your shelf, it's like pinning two $100 bills and a $50 bill next to it. But for $125 and you could get it to look like it and throw a pie in there, like that's a better price to like go with than $250. Like nobody likes Golden Tee more than I do, and I didn't pre-order the Golden Tee because as much as it looks cool, this and that, it's just for me. I rather just go downstairs and play Golden Tee on my big Golden Tee. So I didn't order the Golden Tee, but Glenn's Build-A-Cade easily, because it's a cheaper entry point at $50. But and also I fear if I start buying these New Wave toys, now I'm gonna be like the Evercade collecting them all. And next thing I'm putting shelves all over my house just to put these little things on them.
Technically, if you think about it, the Build-A-Cade is a cheaper way to do it.
Yeah,
you
well, that's what I
make
said.
A bunch of different
Yeah,
ones.
exactly. The Build-A-Cade is what New Wave toys should be going towards, in my opinion, to get a new market. Make these games and I'll even go further. Just make the shell without the PCB. Just make the shell for $100 and something, and people are gonna buy it. They're not gonna spend $250. $250 is too much if you're not gonna play the game. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna make it as a desk piece and it doesn't take any room up, easily. And like Brooklyn said, for one New Wave toy, you can make two different builds of the Build-A-Cade and
In
Joe
some cases,
Shabo's.
3 with the shipping and everything.
Yeah, exactly. With New Wave toy shipping and stuff. So I know the Golden Tee pre-order still going on, but
And the thing is, Kev, when you see them actually in the different designs,
Yeah.
they do not look like the same thing. Like if you just told the average person that's
Yeah.
not in our community,
Yeah.
that's actually the same thing. They're just modded.
Yeah.
differently. There's a few different plastic pieces that come with
Yeah.
it, to give it a different shape. They may not even realize that is the same exact base model.
Yeah. It's not like a Gen 1 arcade 1-up where it's like same cabinet, just the games are different. Like these are different and like shapes that they conform to because Arkanoid's different than Donkey Kong, different than Ms. Pac-Man. And what Joe Sabo does is he actually 3D prints the screen. So you pull Glenn's screen out, you put this in, and it literally matches the arcade screen. So, it's really cool. And I've always said to Rexer when we talk about this stuff that New Wave Toys needs to just give me this stuff without the ROM. And looking at and the PCB and looking at Glenn's, I'm like, that's it. That's exactly what we're talking about because it looks so good. And Glenn had the Donkey Kong on a rotating little shelf. and it was just so cool to see it rotate. Like I want to get when I get mine, I'm gonna get a rotating and put it on my desk and just watch it go around. It's really cool. So yeah, maybe someday Shiloh will figure out. I mean, if he wants to go that low for an entry point to get a whole new audience, and let Glenn handle it with that. He knows what he's doing, but I know they're going a different route right now with Glenn with the Golden Tee and stuff like that. So we wish him well. We hope the Golden Tee sells so we can get the next product. Because believe it or not, there is a next product in the works. Glenn was hinting when we were talking about him that there is a next product that's coming down the pike if this is successful. I hate to be that guy, but he didn't really tell me which one, and I'm being perfectly honest. But he did say they're waiting to pull the trigger on something else with New Wave Toys, with Glenn, and with a possible other party, Glenn said. So keep your eye out. Hopefully that'll come. Yeah, that's the problem, Paul. I think New Wave Toys does like their price point because why would they offer a cheaper price point? It would help me out, but it doesn't help New Wave Toys out. Their 250 base model or whatever their New Wave Toys goes for, that's pretty much what they need to keep going. If they don't want to grow, if they don't want their audience to grow at the expense of profit margin, then they're fine. But at some point, it's like Arcade One, but at some point, everyone's going to own what they own. They're going to be out of little shelf space. And they're going to have to figure out how to get a new market involved that don't want to pay $250 for these little shelf toys. Because I would love to talk to all these New Wave toy collectors to see, how high up on their shelves are they? How often do you pull them down and actually play them? I'm willing to bet it's a low number of people that have these in reach to play them daily. Once they play it the week that it comes out, my guess is it goes on a shelf with the rest of them, and it looks amazing. You got the little carpet, you got the shelf, you got the little light ups, and then they don't play them because it's a pain. Nobody's gonna play the ROMs on there and for $250, you can get an Xbox for that and play every game ever created. It's like, I get the nostalgia for the arcade shapes and all that, but at some point Shiloh will have to answer the question, how much longer can I do a $250 price point? And sales will tell them when that when that happens. So I don't know how the Golden Tee is selling. I know that they extended the price cut, so that might give you an indication of where they're at. And I think they split the base from Glenn's device, right? They sold the cheaper model without the marquee. So that'll tell you maybe what sales are doing. So they'll react when the market tells them to react. And I think Shiloh's he knows what he's doing. But again, for me, I'm selfish. I would buy more of these if it was just the shell, John, yeah, it's the third part. That's John D's new company. He's gonna sell little arcades without the ROMs, guys. Spread the rumor. Go live. Get someone wake up Cornercade if he's not streaming right now. Tell him John D's working with New Wave Toys to just make them without the ROMs.
What else have we seen, Kev? I know you hit up a few of the panels. Some
Yeah.
were Boss, some were...
Yeah, dude. Well, I didn't know if I wanted to tell this. I got a story about a panel, guys. Strap in. This is story time. So today I learned that not all panels are created equal. Not all panels have amazing content, amazing people. So what am I talking about? So there was a panel that I wanted to go to, and I text Brooklyn about it. And I think it was 12:15. It was called Gaming Through the Generations. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. We're going to learn about gaming through the generations. So I go into the panel, and it's pretty packed. It's 60, 75 people. And on the stage are two little kids and a mom. And so it looks like they're going to lead this panel. And so whenever the panel was, they start. And the mom gets on the mic and she just starts talking about, she doesn't introduce herself. The mic's not working. And she just starts talking about nothing to do with gaming through the generations. Then she's like, hey, we're going to talk about gaming. And out of nowhere, she throws it to her 10-year-old kid. And the kid starts talking. His mic's not working. And then out of nowhere, like 30 people just gets up and they walk out of the room. And I'm like, oh my God, this is sad. I don't know what's going on here. And I'm like, do I get up or do I got to sit here for an hour and listen to this? So like I waited, and then like another 10 people gets up and they walk out of the panel. And I'm like,
I wouldn't know how to leave.
I
I'd probably,
know.
like, slowly fall to the floor
and
like,
crawl
roll
out.
Yeah.
Dude, it was cringe, and I felt so bad. So I did get up and walk out. I couldn't sit there for an hour. It was so bad. So I learned that not all panels are created equal. And I felt bad. They just didn't have, that wasn't a panel that they should have made. They had no content. They had no prepared materials. It was really bad.
I walked into a huge room filled with, probably over 100 people waiting for a panel.
Dude, this is so bad.
And then I just walked in, talk about awkward, and I just started yelling, "Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please?" And everyone's like, they all look at me. I'm like, is anyone here subscribed to Brooklyn Menace? And then I just stopped talking, and then all of a sudden someone like in the middle went, "Who?" And I was like, that's what I thought.
Dude, picture this, right? I'm Brooklyn's bitch boy for the day when he was streaming. So my job was to give out stickers and make sure he was good, right? So he walks into this panel that hasn't started yet, and it's packed, and everybody looks at him, right? And he goes, "Who has?" And I turn around and just run for the hills. I'm like, I'm leaving Brooklyn hanging out to dry. And so he's standing there like, who subscribed to him? And I run out of the panel, and I'm standing outside like, "Brooklyn, what are you doing?" and then everybody, like, you could hear a pin drop when he said, "Who subscribed to the Brooklyn Menace channel?" And they looked up and were like, "Who are you?" It was hilarious. And then Brooklyn just turns away, comes out of the panel like, oh, it was hilarious. So I kind of left him. He was hanging out to dry. But dude, that's the thing. Like, when you come here, you can do stuff like that. Everyone's just chill. Nobody's judging you. For the most part, like, everybody just checks their ego at the door, and we're all just there having a good time. It's a judgment-free zone for the most part. But I couldn't sit in that panel. Like, I just couldn't do it. So that's the first panel. And what was interesting is, like, the first 30 people that walked, that was fine. But when I got up, no one, I waited too long. So everybody left, and then I get up, and I sat in the back, and I had to walk up and, like, make eye contact with them as I was leaving. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? So, and I was the only one, because I was like the only one left. Oh, it's crazy.
I was embarrassing the crap out of Glenn. So Glenn and I were dual streaming. Glenn had his camera on a huge tripod, holding it really high up, and then I had mine low, and we were going through the convention center together. And then at one point I was like, I'm going to embarrass the shit out of Glenn. So as we're walking back, it is packed to the brim. You can hardly walk through the crowd. And I start screaming, "Everyone, attention everyone, out of the way. Giant YouTuber, Glenn's Retro Show coming through." And Glenn is trying to pretend almost like he's not with me to get away from me. And I just keep doing it louder and louder. I'm like, don't touch him. He's a big, giant YouTuber.
But hey, Paul, you're right. You should always be promoting your channels, except when you stream with the Rexer Show. Because, like, for example, we met RGT85 and Brooklyn's promoting himself, and RGT's like, yeah, I know who you are. And if you remember, Rexer and I did a show on RGT and his health, if you remember that. So they both look at me, and I'm just like, "Hey, what's up, RGT?" I didn't tell him who I was, the Rexer Show, because he would have been like, "Yeah, you're the assholes that did a stream about me." So you should always be promoting, unless you hang with the Rexer Show. Then you want to just be chill and hide in the background.
Yeah, I think the only people that RGT85 knew who I was for some apparent reason.
Yeah.
I don't know how on earth he did. And then a few people that came over to Glenn's booth were talking to Glenn. They were real excited to meet him. I was like floating around in the back, and they were like, "Oh, you're Brooklyn Menace." I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" Yeah. So that makes more sense to me. Like, his crowd, because we kind of like mix in, to the same world.
Yeah. But that happened a few times where Brooklyn and I were talking to YouTubers, And I basically didn't say who I was, what I was, who I streamed with, because you never know, man. You know, when you're at Rexer, you're dodging strays all day, all night. So I didn't promote anything to anyone. I'm not there. You know, I did community
Me
posts.
just dodging, being embarrassed.
Brooklyn just goes right in for it because he can do that, you know. But he's pretty bulletproof right now, but not me. So I was like Pat Danny ass Punk was there, and I'm like, I don't know if Rexer and I ever trash Pat. I can't go up to him and say hi.
I started doing this bit where I was going up to people that weren't in costume, asking them what their costume was.
Yeah, and they were like, "What do you mean?"
So they were so confused. And then I was standing there, and this one girl is just glaring at me. She's like in a group, they're waiting for signatures. They've probably been on the line for a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this girl so upset about? So
Yeah.
I went over to her. I'm like, why are you looking at me? Like, why are you looking at me that way? What are you so pissed off about?
Yeah.
And then they started laughing.
Yeah, that's why they know him, Goofy, when that whole death threat thing came out and all that stuff. So I think that's why RGT. I think he said he saw that video.
Probably,
Maybe
they probably saw it
Yeah.
in that video.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I don't watch, like, Rexer and I will do our stream, right? And we say our piece, we do our thing, and then I go offline. Whatever Smash and all these guys who dox us, I don't know. I don't care. Like, I just say, you know, we just say our facts. So if I meet him in real life, whatever. But, you know, these guys get infatuated with this stuff once we do our show.
I had no idea. All these people were like messaging me saying, Smash JT did a video about you. I was like,
Yeah.
who the hell's Smash JT?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're calling you a maniac? I'm like, well, that's perfect.
Yeah. Lean into it. But
I was like, please do not defend me. I was like,
Yeah.
I go by the name Brooklyn Menace. Like, does it matter?
Yeah,
if someone's
exactly.
calling me a lunatic?
yeah, exactly. And I know we did a video on Smash because of the Emiko, and I know that rallied them to come after and dox us because Smash JT does get involved with some guys that are shady. I'm not going to say Smash is a doxer at all, so
Dude,
don't be making videos on me,
I gotta be
Smash. I'm not
honest,
saying it.
I think it was like maybe a week or two after the video went up. I watched
Yeah.
it. I loved the video that he did so much.
Yeah.
I look like a complete lunatic that I subscribed to his channel, and
Yeah.
now I literally watch the
Yeah,
guy.
see?
Like, I'm a fan of his stuff.
Yeah.
I watch it every day now.
Yeah, even though I think in what, see, I don't watch his stuff, but I think in one of the videos he was doing on us, they were doxing my name, my wife's name, and my employment or something. But whatever. I mean, you can't stop that. If people are gonna be low lifes and dox you, it's like whatever. You're in the YouTube game. You gotta have a thick skin. If you're not, then just get out. So dox away, guys. I don't care. So. But yeah, I don't have a problem with Smash and all that stuff, and it's part of the game. But like, it is different when you meet RGT and you're like, I don't know if he's gonna like appreciate that, but I'm not gonna volunteer who I am. He looked at me, but he didn't. You know, he's not gonna. If he saw Rexer, he would probably remember him more than me. I'm just a little nerd, you know, in front of him. But like he said at the show, he actually said this. He said controversy equals cash. So he probably wouldn't mind it at all, you know, when we were talking to him about that death threat thing or whatever. So those guys are in it for the long, that's their life. So as long as you're talking about RGT and get some clicks, like Brooklyn said, Smash doing a video on him got Brooklyn to subscribe. So it's like, you know, it works. So, and at the end of the day, guys, you know, I'm not sure people understand whenever we do a show with Rexer and we people perceive it as like, yeah, like you're being mean or attacking them. I guarantee we respect everybody in the community. And after the show's over, we literally just go on with our day. Like we don't obsess behind the scenes. We don't call. I mean, people think we're literally waiting for Arcade 1-Up to go out of business. I'm telling you, we're too busy with life and other things to even consider that.
Yeah, I can even tell you, like when Rexer asked me to be on the show, you know, it's just out of the blue and it's just no time to even think. He's like, you know, in a few hours, I'm like, yeah. I'll be there. Yeah, and that's just how he does things. Very spur of the moment.
I'm telling you guys, like just like Brooklyn said, I'll get a call in the middle of the day from Rexer and I'll be like, I got enough topics for a show. We're gonna go live at 10 o'clock my time or 10 o'clock your time. I'm like, okay, and I'll get on stream and it'll be like, there's the topics. Like we don't like Rexer's mind works so different than a lot of people. He works so fast. He's always, so when he puts that show together that you see with the topics and the clips and the countdowns, he pulls that literally an hour before the show. He's so good at doing that stuff. And once the show's over, the show's over. We go on with our day. We're not behind the scenes pulling strings and doing anything. And then when the videos get made about us, half the time I don't see them. I mean, if somebody messages me and say, "Hey, dude, you're being doxxed," whatever, it is what it is. But this was the first time I was in a space with another YouTuber that we did a video on. It was like, and maybe I should have said Rexer said hi just to see what he would say if he would punch me out, But it's like, whatever. He was there to have a good time. We were there to have a good time. And like you said, controversy means cash. He gets his clicks, and but I'm not. But I wasn't promoting myself at the convention. Brooklyn was.
Hey, did you meet Kev Gret from the Rexer show?
No,
I should have done.
Steps. I am so proud of the work that I do with Rexer. I am not ashamed of it at all. In fact, I'm telling you guys, I consider Rexer my closest friend. And it's an honor to go on his streams every time he picks me. He can pick anybody he wants, Anybody would be happy to go on and talk and, add comments when he says, what do you think? So, yeah, I'm definitely, but I don't want to poke the bear of certain people if they don't appreciate what our channel is and stuff like that. But yeah, man, we've been doing it now. Rexer and I have been streaming together for almost 3 years, I think, at the end of, or it's been almost 3 years that we have been doing this.